Okay, so today we are going to talk about how we can use codes to tell each other things. So that's something that we can make just out of stuff that we have in our house. So what you're going to need today is you're going to need, Peter, do you want to go ahead and put the thing in the chat now?
Sure.
Okay, great. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some paper and a pen. If you have a printer and you can print the thing that we're putting in the chat now, that would be helpful. If you don't, that's okay. We will put it up on the screen and you can write down what you need to do. You will need, one way to do this activity is if you have a bunch of safety pins and some beads. You can have two different colors. You can have more than two different colors, but you'll need at least two different colors to do this. If you don't want to use beads, that's okay. We can draw, we can color. If you have a couple different markers, we can do things that way. And if you have like a towel or a dish or a placemat or a napkin or something, that's really helpful so that your beads don't roll around and fall on the floor. Okay, if you have some string and you want to put your beads on a string, that's something you can do too. Otherwise, we will use safety pins. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk about how to use a code. Now, there's lots of reasons you might want to use a code. You might use a code if you were a secret person, like if you were a spy, but there's other reasons to use a code too. So we have lots of ways we can tell other people stuff. So right now I can just talk to you. I can also write down a message, right? So I can write down something like that, and you can see it and you can read it and you know what I mean. But if I had to give you a message from a long way away, how do you think I could do that? How could I give you a message if I were all the way across the country? Anybody have any ideas? No? Well, we could do what we're doing right now, right?
I think Jerome has his hand up.
Oh, awesome. Jerome, do you want to share?
Oh, a letter.
You could use a letter. That's right. That would be awesome. Yeah, do you have something you want to share?
Yes, a letter. My brother also said that.
Yes, you could both. You could use letters. You could send each other letters, and you could send each other emails. Now, what would happen if you couldn't actually get the piece of paper to them? So if I were standing in California and I was holding up a letter like this, would you be able to read it all the way here in Ithaca? No, it'd be too far away. Jacob, do you want to say something? No? Okay, that's fine. So there's different ways that you can send information to somebody. So we get to practice this all the time. So when we talk to each other on the telephone, our telephones are sending little secret codes to each other. And the way that they're doing that is they are turning things on and off. So it would be like, I'm just going to do this with my camera. So ready? We're going to go do this. Right? So you could turn things on and off, and that would be another way you could give information. Are you guys going to try it? Yeah, so that'd be like a way you could do it. So sometimes people used to use something called Morse code to send messages all the way across the country and to send messages to people in different countries, right? So that's a really cool way that you can send information. So how computers send information to each other is how we send information when we're talking to space. So we have all these satellites in space, and they are so far away that if they wanted to send us something and they just held up a little message, we wouldn't be able to see it, right? So they can send information by having things go on and off. So we are going to use a secret code that's just like that, and we're going to spell it out with beads. So Peter, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, we can put that up. Okay, so this is a special code, and it's called binary code. And what it is you can send messages where you send information about every letter of the alphabet by just turning things on and off. Now, because there's 26 letters of the alphabet, you need to have a lot of spaces to do that. So what you would need to do if you wanted to send just one letter is you would need 8 chances to turn lights on and off, or you would need 8 beads. So what we're going to do is we are going to each pick one of the letters of the alphabet. So I'm going to pick J because my name starts with J, and I am just going to copy down the letters of the alphabet from the screen, okay? So let me just grab a piece of paper here. Peter, do you want to maybe turn your screen sharing off and then we'll turn it back on?
Well, sure. Does everyone want to write down the copy or copy down the code that they might want to do for their first letter? So you might, if I was doing it for me, I might write down for myself those dots, if everyone could see my mouse, for the letter P. So I might do a solid circle and then an open circle, then a solid circle, then an open circle, and then 4 solid ones.
Good idea to use your mouse, Peter. So everybody pick a letter of the alphabet. So Jacob and Jerome, I don't know if you want to use J or if you have a favorite letter, but what you're going to do is you're going to write down for your letter, you're going to look across the screen and you're going to write down open circles and closed circles for everything, okay? So I have a J, so I'm going to do a dark circle, a light circle, 2 dark circles, and I'm going to keep going until I have all 8 circles. Okay. So does everybody want to do that? Does anybody have any questions? This is where our piece of paper and our pen come in handy, right? Okay. So I am just going to get this ready. Okay. So everybody got their message that they got? Their letter?
I'm going to stop sharing my screen in a second. So this is going to go away. But remember, I'll repost this in the chat in case you came in a little late, and you can always open it up yourself if you want to look at it again.
Okay, so I have my special message. So I have my 8 circles. So I have a dark circle, a light circle, 2 dark circles, a light circle, a dark circle, a light circle, and a dark circle. So everybody's going to need 8 beads. So I have my paper clip here, and I've got my beads, and I've got some extra paper clips, and I am just going to pick some of these beads to make a message with. So I have dark beads and I have light beads, and I'm going to spell them out. So let's see. So I need 1 dark bead and I need 1 light bead, like that. Now I need 2 dark beads. One light bead. You can barely see my light beads. It is like we're turning the lights on and off, huh? A dark bead, a light bead, and a dark bead. Okay. So what you can do is you can pick what color you want each one to be. So if you have dark circles and light circles, you can pick if you want to use like blue for your dark circles, or you want to use like green. So you can just pick so that you have 2 different colors and you are spelling out a message with your different colored beads, right? Okay. So once we get those all lined up, we can just put them on our safety pin, and then we have our special secret message we can all use to communicate with each other and to tell each other our favorite letter. Okay, how's that going? Let's see. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and start putting my beads on my safety pin. So I'm going to start with my dark bead here, right here. And I'm going to go on to a light bead. Be careful with those safety pins. You don't want to poke yourself with a safety pin. Oops. This bead doesn't have a hole in it. Pick a different one. I am not having a good time with my beads. Where'd my beads go? All right. I have special beads with no holes in them. All right. All the beads I carefully picked out before with holes in them. All right. I am going to switch safety pins because I'm having a little bit of trouble. Is anybody else having trouble with their safety pins? You guys doing okay with yours? Okay. Well, I'm going to try this again. So I'm going to do my dark bead, my light bead, my 2 dark beads. Now this is how we talk to satellites. So we have all these satellites up in space, and they are sending us all kinds of things. So they are sending us pictures of stuff that they can see, and they're sending us information about different kinds of rocks that they find. And they are sending us all of these pictures by turning things on and off. And when your computer is sending you messages, it is doing that too. When you're if you have a television in your house, that is doing that too. Okay, so I ran out of room on one of my beads, so on one of my pins, so I switched. So now I have 2 different pins. Let's just put these up closer to the screen. So now what I have is I have my initial spelled out in beads. So let me just pin these on like this. And you can write anything that you want. So you could write your whole name if you had enough beads. You could write a whole sentence if you wanted to make a necklace. Ellery, I see that you've done that. That looks really nice. That looks so great. I like those beads that you've got. So you have a message now that you made, and you could send that all the way across the country, and people would be able to know what message you were sending if they knew the secret code that you guys all have now, right?
It looks
And
like Philip went and made his own code with just coloring in with a marker, which is awesome.
That's so great. That's a great way to do it too. You know what? And Philip, that is a way that your that's how your television works in a way, is it takes all this information and it says, you know what, I'm going to use the color red, and then it puts a red dot. And you're spelling out, you can spell out letters, you can spell out pictures. So as long as you and your television have the same copy of this code, you can send messages, right? Because that's important when you're sending a secret code, is you want people to know how to translate it. So you need to have this code, and the other person needs to have this code. But as long as you've done that, you can send a message. Does anybody else have anything that they want to share? That's really fantastic. I'm just looking around to see all these different codes that we have. Ellery's got hers. Looks like Trey and Corrine are working on theirs. Are you guys using beads? Or are you coloring?
Jerome, do you have something you want to say? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I don't have any beads, but I did make the letters D.
That's fantastic. I love that. Is D your favorite letter?
No, but I just wrote Z because you had J, and J was my favorite letter too.
Yeah, I like J too. So you can write different messages later on. That's right, you could do that. So you can do that with anything you wanted. You can do that. You could do that by turning lights on and off. You could do it by using your camera on and off. So you could send a message where you say, okay, ready, I'm gonna go. And then you turn things off and you turn them on, or you have dark squares and you have light squares, or you have different color beads. Or if you're a computer, you can turn things on and off. You can send electricity through something. You could send a radio wave. So you can do all kinds of special things to send messages, and you can send them for really long distances. Ellery, do you have something you want to share?
I had different shapes. I had stars and hearts and circles for shapes.
Yeah. That's another way you can do it. That's right. So instead of using just different colors, you could use different shapes. Anytime you have two different kinds of things, you can send a message. Now, it takes a lot of beads, right? So we have lots of different words we can use. We have lots of different letters we can use. And that's a pretty nice way to send messages. But if you can only use on or off, you have to use a lot of different beads to send the message, but you can send it a really long way, and it takes a long time, but you can make something that looks really, really cool. That's so fantastic. Great.
Trey, do you want to hold up your letter T in beads so we can all see it? Cool. Let's hold it up to the camera. Good work.
Oh, that's
awesome.
great. That's a really good idea. So you've got like a bracelet or a necklace, so you got them on a string, so you could make a long message if you wanted to. That's very cool. So you could do your whole name if you had a string that was long enough, right? That's really fun. All right, cool. So can anybody think of other things that you might want to send messages about? Would we maybe want to send messages where we wanted to write out a whole sentence, or we could have a different code where we could spell out different colors, so we could make television pictures. We could do all kinds of things. All right. Well, that is very cool. I'm so glad to see all these things that you made. If any of you would like to share any of the pictures that you made on our Facebook page, that would be really fun. And we will post this also, the set of codes. Oh, Corinne, can we see your letter C that you made? Yeah?
Nice.
That's so great. It looks like you use lots of different color shapes too. That's really neat. That's so great. I love that. Awesome. Okay. So if anybody wants to, we will post this piece of paper, this table on our page so that you can download it. If you want to write out something really long, you can do that. You could spell out messages with different colored Legos. You could lay them all out on the table and you can make a really, really long message, and that would be really fun. If anybody wants to make something and send us a picture of it, we would love to see that. Otherwise, we will post a video of this later if you want to go back to it and look at it again later. And we will be here on Monday at 10:30. Peter, do you remember what we're doing?
Yeah, we're actually going to have a really cool activity. We're going to have a volunteer join us, and he's going to show you all how to make ice cream at home. So you'll need to collect some special ingredients for that. So we'll post those later, and that way you can have it all ready, and maybe you and your parents or your grown-ups can help you make some ice cream. It's probably a little early on a Monday morning, but we'll see. So hopefully we'll see you all Monday morning at 10:30 to make some ice cream.
Bye everybody. Thanks so much.